so we had a little bit of time to think about it. Which one are you gonna choose?
Yeah, the waterfall. I think to go with the rest of our house, just like minimal modern.
Nice.
I don't love how it like moves a little bit, but it's so much more of a simplistic look compared to a Hollywood.
Okay. Huh. Sounds good. Waterfall it is. All right. High five. In this video, we're going to be carpeting a set of stairs, and so we're going to take you through the process of what you need to know in order to do this. Now, there's a couple different styles that you can choose from, and the carpet guy that I'm working with, his name is Steve, and he has been laying carpet for over 50 years. That's right, 50 years. So he has a lot of experience, and he's gracious enough to share his knowledge with the rest of us, which is really fantastic. So if nothing else, hit that thumbs up button down below just for Steve. So the two different styles of step that are the most common is going to be a waterfall style, which is this type right here on top. The second style wraps the nose of the step, and this can also be referred to as Hollywood style, I guess. The carpet just comes out and then it wraps around that nose and then goes down to the bottom portion. As you can see, the look is slightly different, and many would argue that this style here is just a little bit more clean looking, and you see it more commonly in newer homes. This other style definitely doesn't look bad either though, so if you choose one or the other, that's totally up to you. For preparation, you're going to want to make sure that you have your running boards installed or the trim next to the carpet on either side, because the carpet is going to be cut to the width of the staircase. You want to have any material that needs to be installed done beforehand. Now you really want to pay attention to the installation of the tack strip. You want to keep the tack strip spaced out about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch away from the edge. And you can see we still have about a 1/2 inch gap in between here. And that's where we're going to be able to take the carpet and really tap that back into place. So get all your tack strip installed and ready to go, and then you're ready to move on to adding padding and then finally the carpet. I will mention that some guys do skip this back piece of tack strip. They'll just staple it into the back corner. That can work as well. It just takes a lot more staples, but if you have enough tack strip, I'd recommend just putting it on both the back and the bottom. All right, let's go ahead and get going on this. Steve should be here any minute, and we will continue the project with his expertise. So I was just telling Steve here that waterfall was the final decision. He wasn't surprised at all though. Does much surprise Steve anymore though?
Not much.
Not a lot. He was just showing me how these staples, when they are deployed into the wood, they kind of go out.
Off to either side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Instead of just going straight in. That must give them a lot more holding power then, I guess.
Yep.
What do they go, like 1/4 inch into the wood, I guess? So not super deep, but
No.
just enough. Oh, another thing to tell Steve that I was gonna do. I was thinking about using those 1/4 inch crown staples that are like 1/2 inch or 5/8 long for the carpet.
No.
I mean, it would have been good. I mean, I think it would have been in there. I think the problem I would have had is that they would have overdriven and went right through the back end of the carpet, probably.
Yeah. This tacker is specifically made for, carpet.
Yep.
So.
We're just using an electric carpet stapler, and we're just using these 9/16 crown staples. They're 9/16 deep and 3/16 wide. There's what the actual stapler looks like. I'll link to a couple different carpet staplers in the description of this video for your convenience. So as far as preparation, we're pretty much good to go. We got our tack strip all down.
Now we're going to cut the pad, put that on. Each piece will come from the tack strip just over the lip about 1 inch. So when we do the carpet, it'll bend the pad over the lip.
The pad will end up coming pretty much down to the bottom of the nose? Or
just about to the bottom.
Okay, nice.
That way it gives it a bumper.
Yep. And you were saying too, if you don't put padding on your steps, it will wreck the carpet fairly quickly?
Very quickly. If you ended the pad before that, this edge on the carpet would just get beat up and it would just mat. A common mistake a lot of people make when they do it themselves is they'll put the pad upside down.
Oh, there's an upside and a downside?
Yes. This is the downside. The scrim should be on top.
Scrim, okay. Is there much of a difference between like this, which is this kind of like memory foam stuff, versus regular pad? Like, is this stuff a lot better for stairs? Is there something in particular that people should purchase for
this is a
stairs?
better quality pad.
But you can get by with the other stuff too, I guess.
Yeah. This is called a rebonded foam. What they do, they buy up the extra foam from the car industry.
Oh, interesting.
When they make car seats.
That's what this is actually.
They grind it up And that's why it's all these different colors and pieces, and then they heat bond it back together.
Yep.
So it's called a rebonded foam.
And it seems like this stuff holds its like shape pretty well, but it also compresses more than like that stuff seems like it's
it doesn't
a
have
bit,
the weight.
Yeah.
We lay it in. And we just staple it down so that it stays put.
Nice.
And the pad doesn't have to be net fit.
Okay.
You know, if there's a little bit of a gap there, that's not important.
Right, on the edges.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly forgiving in that sense.
And this is just a standard Roberts staple hammer.
Yep. All of our pieces, or the vast majority of them, have been prepared. These lengths of carpet are about the right length to cover, 2 or 3 steps?
Some are 2, some are 3.
Yep. So that way you can just work in sections and not have to have a big bunch of carpet that you're dealing with while you're doing that. So we're starting the carpet from the top of the stairs. And that tool is called a tucking tool.
Stair wedge.
Stair wedge.
I mean, you don't have to use one. I like it because it helps you get it even before you start pounding it in.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because you're still going to use the
driver.
The driver.
Yeah, to get it down in there good. You can see it pulling.
Yep. And that's key with the waterfall installation. Obviously, you want that vertical section to be fairly tight.
Yep. Yeah. See, this is...
That's a worn...
beat up pretty good from sitting on that step loose with no pad under it. That's why it's beat up so bad.
It's kind of a good example of what happens if you didn't put pad underneath.
Yep, exactly.
The carpet on the stairs. And the staples are just going to prevent the carpet from being able to just
slip
accidentally come out of the tack strip. So push hard.
Well, it's a thick carpet.
Yeah. That's no fun.
Well, you gotta get your angle just right, because if you get your blade too high, you'll cut up into the riser part.
Oh, sure.
So you don't want to do that.
So that'd be fairly typical when you're working at the top of a set of stairs, where you have your first piece, you bring it down and in, and then trim off the excess.
Yep.
Basically, because it needs to be long enough to where it has to come all the way down to the next base.
Exactly.
Because that would always be necessary to have your first, waterfall basically coming off of your main piece of carpet.
Right.
You wouldn't want to have to seam on the top of your stairs.
No. You don't want a seam in that high traffic of an area.
Right.
You step, you twist, and go that way.
Yep.
That's why it's important to vacuum this with a beater bar at least once a week.
Yep, that gets it standing back up.
To get those fibers standing back up so they don't mat.
Yep. This carpet was installed quite a long time previous to actually finally finishing this.
At least 2 years ago.
At least 2 years. So here's our first separate section. You can see how you had a T here on the top edge right here. And you notated that while you were cutting them.
So they all got in the right direction.
Yep. The pile of the carpet
lays down, going down the stairs, stands up.
Going up.
Going up.
Okay. And that's something that obviously could be easily missed if you were just cutting pieces and just throwing them in.
You never just cut and throw.
Oh, goodness. Wrong terminology.
Right.
Extend the teeth.
Yep.
That gets the edge of it tucking down behind that tack strip, kind of into that.
Correct.
Into that gap. And now you drive it.
Make sure it's all the way down in there.
Yep.
You can see it pull there.
Yep. Now you can staple like every 4 inches or so.
Yeah. When you want to work your staple down into the fiber, you don't want to just go like this because then you could staple fibers in.
Right, yep. I was actually...
It makes a bigger indentation.
I was wondering about that actually, that makes sense. So now you got your first piece that's continuing on. That kind of pre-tightens everything before you even drive it.
Yep.
And it keeps it straight. Because you were saying if you were to just drive it right away, it might not be even.
Yeah, if you drive this end in, this end pulls out.
Yep.
And then your sides.
They wouldn't be quite even.
Right, and you could possibly get gaps if you were doing like a 4-piece step.
Yep.
If you just start driving here each time, by the time you get to a 4th step, you could be a ½ inch shy of this edge.
Interesting, yep.
And see, you can leave this longer.
Okay.
I cut it to where I needed it.
Right, nothing super different about coming down onto a landing like this. It's just ending the carpet the same way, pretty much.
Yeah. So I got just a little bit to cut
So you get to trim off that last. Otherwise, there's no room for the landing piece to interact with the tack strip if you don't cut that off. So here's the landing piece we've got cut. Is there anything special about transitioning from the steps of the landing?
See how we were coming down with the carpet this way?
Yep.
Now we turn it and come down this way.
Because that's the direction of the main set of steps.
Right. The step is that way.
Okay. It appears that you've had this mallet for more than a couple months.
Yeah.
That's an irreplaceable item there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. This one's probably 25 years old.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I feel like most people can't even keep a tool that long because they lose it before then.
The tool losers of society.
Yeah. So you cut just enough that there's a little extra to tuck underneath.
Yep, with the texture. It's just something you get used to eyeballing, but yeah, it's close to a 1/4 inch, I guess.
Yep.
It all depends on the gap and, you know, in this case, your trim goes down to the floor. Sometimes it's up a ways like this.
Right, yep.
So here I've got like a 1/2 inch.
You can tuck that all under
but
there.
That can all fit underneath that sheetrock.
Yep.
So I might as well.
Yep,
Now,
exactly.
unless it's too bulky.
Might be a little
I'll maybe trim a little bit there, yeah.
Yep.
The backing of the carpet can scratch that finish a little bit.
Right, yep.
So you gotta just kind of tap it in easy.
Sweet. Nice clean corner.
Yep. Now there, it doesn't matter how far it goes underneath.
Yeah, that's fine for now.
I can just put a little under there.
Yep. If you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you guys consider subscribing to the channel right underneath this video. About 90% of the people who watch this channel don't subscribe. So if you found this content to be valuable and you want to see more like it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. So you keep some pressure on it while you tuck it in there.
Yeah, to hold that stretch.
So now it's basically back to the stairs.
Yep.
So it's really just like a big step. There's not much that's very different about it.
Exactly.
And you keep checking it because you can't trust those grid lines exactly, right?
Exactly. I still got a knee kick back over there, the little ripple there.
Oh yeah. So this is the last stepper on here now. The top edge of it is going to be identical to the rest of them as far as tucking it in. Nice. So now this is the finishing edge. Not really a lot different, but just a little bit more crucial, right?
Yeah, you don't want to end up short. So when you look across from there over here and you see this gap or whatever.
Yep.
See, as I get it in there, I'm going to be stapling it. And my tack strip is tighter to the floor, like I was putting it up by a wall. It's only a 1/4 inch away.
1/4 inch off the floor instead of a half.
Right, instead of this gap.
Yep. Nice. There it is.
Clean that looks.
It looks amazing.
Yeah. So your steps are done.
Fantastic.
Like I said, the steps themselves are not that time consuming. It's that cutting all the pieces and
Yep. Get the tack strip right.
Yeah, once you get rolling on them,
yep,
they go pretty quick.
It's just like you're doing the edge of a room over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And all the precision versus, you know, when you're doing a bigger room, you just have to get the...
Yeah. Well, and you just got to be able to make straight cuts.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I've seen where you can stick your finger in there because they leave that big a gap. You know?
And that's where having a nice straight edge like this,
Oh yeah,
having the right tools is really important. So I'll link in the description right under this video all the different tools that are needed for doing this project. But
yeah, that's a 6-foot straight edge.
Yep.
And a carpenter square.
Fairly basic, really, for the tools. I guess with the exception of the stapler might be a little bit more expensive. But
right. Yeah.
Well, big thanks to Steve. If you guys have any comments, put those underneath the video. Let Steve know how good of a job he did and how bad of a job I would have done. So.
They can let you know, and then you can let me know.
Yeah, let me know, and I'll let Steve know. So, looks good. Well, there we have it. That was the installation of carpet on these stairs. Again, huge thanks to Steve for being willing to let us follow him around with the camera. Comment down below with any thoughts or suggestions that you might have to go along with this video. If you want to keep learning with me, I'll put a couple of videos here on the screen, including one where Steve seams the carpet together. So 2 large pieces of carpet, seaming them together. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you right over there.